Asgard has fallen. Ragnarok has come, and the mighty hammer Mjolnir is moving ever closer to Midgard. The hammer seeks a new master, this one in the form of a golden Valkyrie by the name of Star. Born of the wasteland, a scrapper now burdened with the mighty hammer, Star must survive insurmountable odds. She must rise to the challenge and take her rightful place among the old gods. Loki, the gritting god, and his loyal acolytes will raise Valhalla to gain the power of Asgard's most powerful artifact. And hell awaits.
All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Welcome. Welcome to
Hello.
the channel, Jason.
Thank you for inviting me, Michael. Poland and Blue Samurai Zero.
How are you, sir?
I do appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, no, absolutely. I just had to go full screen with it so I could read what your name was there. All father to the comic book Hammer.
That's
Do you
right.
prefer Odin or Jason?
You can call me
Odin.
Jason, or you can call me Odin. Old father. You know what?
Got the beard for it.
I do. I have a beard and I have a hammer. I'll have my own hammer.
That looks very lethal.
I brought a hammer too.
It's lethal for paper. Yes, absolutely.
You know, I just watched someone restore an old hammer for real on YouTube. There's a million restoration videos, and they're really cathartic to watch. And I saw a guy turn an old hammer into some sort of Nordic god thing.
It's wonderful, the stuff that you can find on YouTube. At some point, if this campaign does well enough, I may actually sculpt a hammer and then cast it. And then I'll think about making metal heads that can be adhered to wood staffs and so on and so forth.
We're going to check out your campaign. You have a lot of cool stuff on your campaign, and I can't wait to go through it all with you because you've got all kinds of little sculpts and things. We've already got some people in the chat saying the art looks really cool, but we just got to actually say hello to the chat first too because they're here.
Sure, absolutely.
Rick Saylor's here. Hey, Rick Saylor.
Hey.
Felix Haas. He says how the panel. He's already posted a link to your campaign there.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Thank you so much,
so
Felix.
much.
Sorry, guys, if I got to be a bit quiet. I had some internet issues getting the stream going, so I've got to actually sit in my office here, and there's people over the way, so I don't want to annoy them too much. Frog G is here. Hey, Frog G, how you going, buddy? VP says, please don't hurt him. You're going to hurt him.
That's right. No, not at all. No, that's an old MC Hammer song. Hammer don't hurt him.
Mo says Hal chat. Mo's the guy. He's the guy who rides me when I start late. So I'm expecting some comments later. I hope he doesn't disappoint me here. Blue, you're in the chat.
Yeah.
Lord Crackhead, great to see you, buddy. Oh, already calling me out. I can't start a couple of minutes late. It's
late again. It happens. What else can you do?
There you go. Even when I'm in the chat ahead of time, I still find a way to be late. I like to keep you guys on your toes. Oh, there it is. Antoine Dennison's here. Cheers, mate. Thanks so much for coming. Oh, Gelth Walker's here, another Aussie. In case you didn't hear.
Hey, buddy.
In case you didn't hear, I am an Australian down here in Melbourne. And Gelth Walker here is another Aussie. And you can see he's got a vicious drop bear as his avatar. And I'm going to be drawing a drop bear for him as part of the package that I send him for my own comic.
He's trying to get me to sculpt one. Last time I spoke to him, yeah, he did. He asked me how the skull thing's going. This is the skull thing. I smashed it. After the last stream, Gelf. I'm sorry. I could do it again, but I think I'm gonna draw a drop bear while we talk right now. So
That would be amazing.
is what I'm thinking.
That's what Gelf does. Apparently, he goes from stream to stream, just soliciting drop bears.
Just looking for drop bears. So I think I'm down. So let me see what I can do here while we're doing this.
Excellent. This is great. Skip Edwards' art is here. He says, "Is Jason giving up all his sculpts away tonight?" Well, he's drawing tonight, so
I'll be giving out some sculpts tonight. Any backers over the $100 or the $100 plus range, we'll work out special stuff for them. If somebody wants to pick up that Joe Benitez poster, or not poster, actual cover for the first exclusive issue of Hammer, I'll be doing them a special edition Dragar, one of those sculptures that I do, and sending that along with it. Because I know it's expensive, so I want them to have the whole kit and caboodle. So just don't think you're going to get a cover and 2 books. You're going to get, an 11 by 17 original art piece. Plus, you're going to get your very own Dragar, probably about 12-inch tall sculpture with me kit bashing it and painting it all for you. And along with the cover itself, signed by Benitez. I'll probably get him to sign some type of certificate so it can authenticate it or something. So,
well, there's something we haven't had on the show yet before. That sounds pretty amazing.
So
very generous.
Drop bear for the win. That's right.
Absolutely.
He knows how to play to his audience.
He does, doesn't he?
Like, I'm an Australian show, gotta drop the drop bear.
You know what's really funny? Like, when I got into comics originally, I spent my time tracking other artists and like trying to get to know them, even when I was a kid. And I remember how incredibly important it was for my development as an artist. But on top of that, I got to make really cool friends. So that being said, I kind of try to give people like that exclusiveness when you're backing my campaign. I want them to have more art. I don't want them to just get a comic. I want them to feel like they had an experience. And that's something you can't get right now, particularly in the world, because there's so much going on. So
yeah. So, well, that kind of goes into how we like to start the show when we get a new guest on. Anyone can go onto your campaign and check out what you got on offer. But now that we've actually got you here, could you sort of just tell us a little bit about your history in comic books, like you were just getting into then? You said you've obviously been doing it a while.
Yeah, I'm a 28-year comic veteran. I started at Harris Comics back when Ethan started at Harris Comics.
Wow.
And I worked
Jason's about to dump the goods.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm not going to be talking. I'm not going to be talking anything about Ethan. We knew each other in passing briefly, and he probably wouldn't recognize me 30 years later. So I went a different direction. He went a different direction. He obviously did pretty good for himself. So that's good. I'm glad he got to do some Cyberfrog, because I know how much he enjoyed it from back in the day when he did it at Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I started there as an ink assistant for a friend of mine named Joe Weems. And he gave me kind of a call out of desperation. It was his first comic gig, and he needed someone to help and fill in some black spots on pages while he wrapped up another page. So I decided to come over. I'm a kid, or at least I think I'm a young adult. So I get over there, And he knows I draw because we'd run into each other at a place called Sequoia, which was this little comic book convention that happened monthly. And every once in a while, there would be somebody there like Mark Texiera or Michael Bear, or every once in a while, a Rob Liefeld would pop up. But this was before he became the giant juggernaut.
Mid 90s? Is this?
No, this would have been, I guess 92, 91.
Okay, right. That's when
Somewhere
I was started collecting, right?
Right. So I started there as an ink assistant, and I helped Joe on and off over several issues. And he brought on several other artists, but I always wanted to draw. So I worked on and off for small press companies, but mostly doing like pinups and stuff that were never good enough. Like, does anybody have a copy of She 1 or 2 first printing? Does anybody? Like, anybody?
Blue
So,
might.
Sorry, not this time.
at the very end of that book, if you go into it, I had sent William Tucci a piece right around when that was going to be printed, and he printed me as fan art in the very back, even though I was a professional comic book artist at the time. It was really funny, and somebody had mentioned it the other day. Anyways, I wanted to kind of finish that story too. So I ended up doing some stuff for Caliber, and then I ended up working with Tim Vigil and doing some work at Avatar Press.
Faust?
No, I didn't work on Faust with him. I tried out for Faust, but I inked a bunch of covers for him. Some for Cuda, 2 Cuda covers. I did a couple Dave Finch covers when I was there. I inked like Evangeline over, I don't think it was Mike Marat, it was someone else. Anyways, I did a bunch of random stuff here and there. And mostly I was the art director. So I did that for a while. And then I came back here to California from Illinois, and I decided I was kind of do my own thing. So every once in a while I'd help out my friend Joe, or I'd help out my friend Marco, and they usually were inking stuff for like Marvel or Crime Lab Studios for Marvel stuff and things like that. So I would help them like on some stuff. And then I decided to take up sculpting out of nowhere because I was done drawing comic books. I just, everything had fallen out of it. Like the bottom had dropped out of it, and everybody kind of went another direction. And I was unhappy trying to catch up with kids that were half my age. And I have a family to feed. So I took up a regular job. I did art on my own terms in between. And I ended up taking up sculpting about 9 or 10 years ago. And it happened real fast for me. I started sculpting and was good at it within a year. But I had spent 20 years drawing, right? So I had an idea of how things worked. And as I did that, I started to get more notoriety from people. It was kind of funny. Like, they knew I had drawn for 20 years and could ink and do other stuff, but nobody knew I could sculpt. And once I started sculpting and I started getting better as I did it, it really took me to a different level in my friends' heads for some reason. Like, they definitely appreciate the fact that I can make 3-dimensional art. And it's easier for me, actually, to do than drawing. I think I forced myself to draw for years and years and years. And I should have started as a sculptor and then probably took up drawing. But it didn't go that way. It went the other way around.
You mentioned it to me in private that you're a friend of Dan Frager.
I am a friend of Dan Fraga's. I met him back in the Extreme days, and then I knew he had worked for Hasbro and a couple of other people, and we'd kind of lost touch. But he lived down the street from where I worked, and one day I ran into him a few years back at a gas station down the street from his house, and I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way to work." He's like, "I'm on my way to work," and we chatted for a minute. He goes, I remember you," he said to me, and he goes, "You're the guy who does that sculptures on Facebook." He goes, "You kick ass." And I was like, "Thanks, man." I go, because when I saw him, I recognized him immediately, and I go, "Frag a boom," and he didn't recognize me at first. But later on, I told him, "Hey, I worked with
He's just some random guy on the street saying, 'Hey, fragaboom.'"
Well, I look a lot different than I did, 30 years ago. So, right. My baby face is gone. It's all gray beard now. So that's how we ended up getting in touch with each other again. And then he moved shortly thereafter to Georgia, I believe. But we kept in touch, and he asked me to sculpt some stuff for him. So we have some stuff going on together. Once he gets himself back together again after his hernia surgery and such.
He's been all cut up and stitched back together.
Yeah, I talked to him. He's feels like he was hit with a cannonball, he said. So
you can tell he's been on a couple of streams over the last couple of days, and yeah, he's not the Frega boom that we know of. It's like the Frega relax and sit back.
He is. He's definitely in some pain, and he needs to just kind of take it easy and relax, and we'll get there. This drop bear is coming along, I'll tell you that.
Oh, excellent.
It is. I'm trying to do my best here. I really don't know what a drop bear should look like since they're extinct.
No. Yeah, I mean they're a very enigmatic animal, so I think it's sort of up to the artistic interpretation. That's right. I've never actually seen one.
I'm actually not drawing it in like I'm drawing it more like a reference, like, oh, this is how you draw a drop bear, as opposed to like drawing him up in a tree hiding or doing what drop bears do, dropping down on things. I'm kind of drawing him more as like a study. If we were to, I guess, take a artist's rendition of him, not in action, what he might look
normally
like.
Drop on Americans and sink their teeth into the backs of the neck to eat the spine, I think.
Really?
I've been reading too much.
That is the legend.
Yeah.
Gels Walker says he's speaking from experience. He's got a massive scar across his stomach thanks to a double strangulated stomach hernia. Wow, that sounds very painful. Oh God.
Gels, was that from the drop bear?
It probably was.
Probably. I mean, that's No, but he's Australian, so the drop bear wouldn't have attacked him.
Oh, yeah, it only attacks Americans.
No, that's right.
Yeah, it's something about the pheromones.
Maybe he immigrated there.
I have a Chihuahua that's like that. I have a Chihuahua that's a borderline racist dog.
Oh, yeah, I've had a racist dog in the past, too.
It's fucking terrible, by the way, having a dog. It is. It's embarrassing having a racist dog.
My chocolate lab was also racist.
Fuckers, man. What's up with that?
My dog, the one I had, was abused as a pretty much its whole life, and we rescued it, so we don't know what happened in the past. It always barked really viciously at Asians, and we don't know the reason behind it, but it's we thought it was funny back in the day. We were kids.
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny until it isn't, I suppose. So little and you can only like. My daughter has some friends who come over, and the dog will not shut up. And I'm like, what is wrong with you, dog? Like, are you kidding me? We can't even enjoy a movie because you're so angry that somebody of colors in my house. Crazy dog. Crazy
Gelf
dog.
Walker confirms he is a full-blown Aussie, born and bred, as we say down here, dinky die, true blue. Mo Big says dogs take after their owners. Well, hang on, Mo.
Hey, no, I don't think so, man. Relax.
An old roommate and I, his dog was a rescue beaten by a Hispanic family. And so from then on, any darker skinned type like Hispanics or looking like darker skinned Hispanics, dog
Right.
them.
Yeah, they don't understand the whole one person's action does not reflect everyone's actions. But before we go down this dark and disturbing path, you were talking about your journey through comic books. How did you get started with Hammer?
Well, many years later, I was in the middle of drawing another book for a company called Abyss Entertainment, and I needed a break briefly from my normal gig. I literally was just kind of frustrated. And one day I was sitting there kind of daydreaming while I was driving, and it popped in my head that there are no comic books that are post Ragnarok other than that book by Walt Simonson, Ragnarok. And I thought, Mad Max actually makes reference to all that stuff, but they never take it all the way. So why not take it all the way? Why not actually make a book that has the Norse gods show up in it and kick some butt? And
Funny that you should actually bring up Mad Max, because Gelth is here in the chat and he says he grew up near where they filmed the original Mad Max.
Oh, that's amazing. That's cool, man. That's so cool. Yeah, I love that stuff, man. I love all of them. They're all my favorite. George Miller is the great, by the maker of Happy Feet. George Miller, Road Warrior. So if you didn't know that, George Miller did make Happy Feet.
I did know that. Yeah, I remember learning that when I went to go see the latest one in the cinema.
That's like finding out that your favorite punk band was Chumbawamba. Right?
My kids love Chumbawamba. They think it's the funniest thing ever.
Me
I was
too.
singing it to them one night, and they're like, "Is that a real song?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "No, you're making that up." And I put it on, and they thought it was the funniest thing ever. They were running around, just jumping on the couch, and then jumping back up again. You get down, you get up again.
So awesome. Yeah, it's one of those things. Anyways, I get off track real easy. Where were we? Keep going.
We were talking about how post you wanted to tell a story about post Ragnarok, and that's what you've written here. It's Hammer, a post Ragnarok tale.
Nice, that is correct. So what takes place is essentially Star of Earth is a scrapper, so she lives in the wasteland, and she essentially is looking for power sources because she can trade them for food and other things. And so they look for satellites, they look for cars, anything that can be powered. And so she is out there one day in the wasteland, and the hammer comes to her. And not to her directly, it comes to Earth and crash lands. Sorry, it's hard to think and draw.
I know. I never do. I never draw on stream. It's like it's become a policy now. I just couldn't. I'm really in awe that you managed to do this. There's a bunch of guys who've done the same thing, and yeah,
They lose their train of thought. So
some do and some don't. I guess it's just some of us are built differently.
I'm almost there. I'm inking it right now. I will add more stuff to it. There will be drop bear action in this. It's coming. So
fantastic.
So let me get back to it. So she is a scrapper. She gets the hammer. There are gods that come to Earth and they want the hammer. They want to take it from her. And in doing so, go back to Asgard and rule what's left of Asgard.
Hmm.
And she essentially has to become a god to defeat these other gods. And we'll find more about her lineage. We'll find out more about the Dragar, which are artificially intelligent robots from 1,000 years previously that have begun to build themselves again. And they want those power sources to rebuild themselves also. On top of the gods, on top of all the gangs, on top of everything that's essentially, happening in the book, there are so many enemies at every turn. That's the big thing about it is you don't know who is helpful, who is gonna help Star, who is gonna just try to kill her. So there's a sense of paranoia to some of it. So she has no idea, and she takes to it actually pretty well, and she moves the story along essentially by having to defend anybody who tries to take it from her. And in doing so, as the story progresses, she'll find out more and more and more about her life. As she travels from place to place, eventually having showdowns with Loki, and these are much later in the book. Loki, and of course Hell will show up at some point. It's what I wanted to do with this book was not only create like a decent story, but I also wanted to create a black and white book that had just amazing black and white art. Yeah, it's all black and white. All of it. So every bit of it.
Except, is the cover black and white?
There's two versions. There's a black and white cover, and then there's a color cover.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. I really wanted to showcase black and white art and how good this stuff used to be at one point. And
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a guy, he actually comes in the chat sometimes. We've had him on. He's called Boogiebot Comics, and he's got a campaign that's going to launch soon, and he's been posting his inks as well. And I said to him, man, you have got to put up the black and white version of this, because you just don't see this kind of ink work much anymore.
Right. Not at all anymore. So nobody puts this much love and stuff. I'm currently looking to talk to Heavy Metal about it and maybe do color versions for Heavy Metal.
Wow.
But that being said, the black and white version is going to be the one that probably will bring everybody in. I love black and white comics. I really do. They're
Mo
awesome.
Big says, if this book were any more black and white, he'd get a cease and desist from Art's attorney.
Nice. Kind of feel like I'm not giving you guys enough love. Like,
no, what do you mean? No, we're staring at the art and we're listening to you talk about it. This is
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've been laughing at things, but my mic's been muted. Sorry about that, Jason.
no, it's not me. I want to be entertaining, and I feel like with my head down, I'm more focused on this. And
we know what you're doing. We know there's drop bear in the mix. So
okay,
It's all right.
Yeah.
You have a nice voice, and it was good to listen to. But it sounds like since you've been in the industry for a while, it answers the question of how did you get that Joe to do the variant cover, and how do you correctly pronounce his name? Because apparently I've been doing it wrong. But it sounds like you just knew him. So
it's Joe Benitez. Benitez. I've known him for about 20 years, maybe a little longer. I met him while I was over at Joe Weems' house as his ink assistant, and Joe used to ink him when we were at Top Cow.
Oh.
So, I worked at Top Cow too at one point and was the penciler for Darkness after Dave Finch moved on to do Ascension. It was brief, though. It was super brief, and they needed a bunch of different artists to kind of come in to do a bunch of stuff to catch up. And then I moved directly to Illinois and was the art director at Avatar after that. Anyways, so Joe, when he found out that I was doing this book, I showed him it. He got super excited, and when he saw it, he said, "When you are done with whatever it is you're doing," he goes, "I'm doing a cover for you." He goes, just remind me. And that's what he did. He's, as I said, been a friend of mine for years. He's always backed me. He's always felt that I was a really, really talented artist. And I really do appreciate his friendship because he is so incredibly sweet, and he's always taken care of me. So yeah, he threw the cover at me outright. He said, "You can have this and sell it for the campaign because I want it to be funded." So it was probably the nicest thing anybody's really done, you know.
Wow.
He told me to sell it. So John Levassey, another big name inker, he went ahead and inked it for me, and I've known that guy like 25 years too. So I just know all these guys. I know lots of people. I know Glenn Fabry, which if we can get to the 15 or close to the 15,000 mark on this in the next 30 days, I'll get Glenn Fabry to paint us a cover and send you guys a whole other book with a Glenn Fabry cover. So
You just giving away stuff.
You know, sometimes it brings them in. So this is my first. I'm having a problem finding my audience, to be quite honest. I'm really kind of bummed because I keep getting told by people like Dan Fraga and stuff like that this campaign should be doing better, and I don't know what else I have to do to actually make it do better other than I should have done my due diligence before I started. And
yeah, look, I can tell you, I've do you know this is Blue and Poland. This is like our 76th or 77th live stream. Did you know that? Can you believe
No.
that?
Oh,
Anyway, we've talked to a lot of people. We've looked at a lot of books. I can assure you, it's got nothing to do with what you're offering.
okay.
And I've said
Sometimes I think
this
it's just random
many
chance.
times before, and I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. The game of crowdfunding, it's 90% promotion. Like it really is that much. I've had guys, you know, I say that they kind of take it in as sort of a, you know, a vague statement, and then they come back to me a couple of weeks later and say, "Oh wow, yeah, I didn't realize how literal you were being there." It comes to a point, and you're probably at it in your campaign, where you're literally now just at a point where you're really selling to people one at a time. You know, it's about talking to people on streams, in chats. You know, YouTube is kind of where comic book buyers, people who read comics, hang out now. And it gets to the point where you're actually literally selling directly to them. So you'll be talking with someone in a chat, and then you'll see their name pop up. Like Jim Cox said earlier, he's talking about visibility. Exactly. He just backed it, I think. So it really is about that. So definitely don't get discouraged or anything, because it's a fantastic looking book. I think the last few years as well have proven that people are really into this genre as well. You know, the Marvel movies have sort of, everyone knows all these characters now. You know, my mum knows who they are now, you know. So people are hungry for this sort of stuff. And I just wanted to scroll down because you've got your check these sculpts out.
Right. My Dragar. Yeah, my bad guys. They're some of my main bad guys, and I have to sculpt them to draw them sometimes because they're so complicated to actually
Oh wow.
draw the lighting properly on them,
Yep.
that
Yep.
I have to take and make sculptures. So, and it helps me. It helps me. I'm just a big dummy who can't draw from my imagination, and I
No,
have to.
I'm exactly the same as you. I'm exactly the same. I struggle when I don't have anything to kind of reference. I really struggle to see how it works.
Did you
Right.
find that move into sculpting carried over any of your drawing skills with it, or was helped by drawing skills, I should say?
It goes both ways. Yes, I sculpt better because or started sculpting better because I had been an artist for so long. But then once I got to the point where I was sculpting really well, it started to help the way I draw things. So it now feeds each other. It goes back and forth now. The head of Loki, I want to give away like 2 or 3 of those if we can get a couple people backing at the $100 plus levels. I'm so busy drawing like drop bears right now. I haven't really caught up with what's been happening with the account currently. So I want to put a little head in the drop bear's hand, if that's okay. Is that too violent for this stream?
No, go for it.
No, is it okay to put a like little American person's head in there? Can we do that?
How will you show that they're American?
Oh man, I could pick the most famous American right now, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So I think I want
that kind of attention.
Yeah, I think I want an art career. So yeah, we're not going to be able to tell what nationality they are. How's that?
You're just going to know because it's a drop bear, and we know who they attack.
Right, Americans. That's right. We know they attack Americans, as you said before. Absolutely. Let's do that. So those are the freebies that you're getting for backing my campaign. That first piece is I don't know if you remember him, Mark Beechum, if you grow up. That's Mark Beechum. And he did some amazing stuff in the 90s, some of the best stuff. And I got him to do a piece a few years ago. And this is what my Dragar looked like before the 1,000 years and all the gas masks fusing to their faces and their skin peeling off. Yeah. So that they were beautiful women, warriors that essentially are, stuck now in the wasteland. The piece underneath it. So in my book, you get 2 stories. You not only get the post-Ragnarok apocalyptic version of my world that I wrote and drew and designed, VIP, some AAT, very good. And this is what if Jack Kirby did a 70s comic based upon my character, and that's the 70s cosmic like meta version of her. And we're going to have a 6-page story in every issue of Hammer that has the character looking like that, doing cosmic-y things. So it'll be awesome. I'm very much looking forward to the format of the book and how everything kind of plays out, because I'm going to get to have a lot of fun with different genres. And I really just kind of want to push that out there and have fun. Comics are fun, not serious.
Albino Thunderbuns has suggested, and this is just for kicks, that you put a slice of apple pie in the head's mouth, and then we'll know it's an American.
We have apple pie.
Well, I think I got too far on it to do the apple pie, guys. So I made it kind of look like a normal person grinning. Like it's what it is. Whatever. Here we go, guys. Let's see. Let me line it. Drop bear. Holding head. I should put a body behind it somewhere.
It's a drop bear too.
I know. He's all pissed.
In the background, just body, stomach down, just.
Yeah, let me do that. So we'll do that while we're at it. Oh, I'm much faster if I'm not talking and having to pay attention.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. I mean, I guess that just goes to show how long you've been doing this.
I've been doing it a long time, guys. And that's the thing. Like, I really want to put something out that's different than the normal stuff that's out there currently. I see lots of crap. I'm not going to say that people's stuff is crap, but I see a lot of people not thinking things through. And I'm older now. I'm like pushing 48. And I think I've had some life experience and enough to be able to sit down now and finally tell a real story. Whereas maybe I couldn't have done that before. It just took me a long time to get there. In my case. So there's lots of people who've been doing it their whole lives. And I haven't. I as much as I tried to have the courage to, it only has happened relatively recently that I think that I should do this, And
well, I mean,
what made you realize that you had really come to where you could tell a story, and where previously you didn't know you couldn't?
Well, I had spent years in and out of the industry, but I never got beyond maybe drawing like 10 or 15 pages of a book. And this happened for a long time, like years. Either I got distracted, or either, I'd get an idea and I'd move away from it, or work got in the way, or, because not everything you do is going to be consecutive pages and stuff, especially if you're doing art, not art, but ink like assistant work, where you're working just filling in blacks on a page for an inker so he could do more work. So that being said, what happened is I was asked to draw a comic book called Black Lamb, and I spent 2.5 years drawing that comic. And when I was doing it, it made me like hungry again to draw, to try to do it. And when I drew 6 issues, and so I broke the whole stigma that I could just do 15 pages. And once I did that, that kind of pushed me farther. And I actually wrote and came up with like 2 or 3 separate properties in the last 2.5 years, but I can only do one at a time. So I'm going to be working on this first, and then at some point I might actually release a children's book. So, but I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. So I do lots of different stuff. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, something that's happened recently, over the last few years is now people are actually starting to be able to make a living again out of comics through crowdfunding.
Right. And I noticed that.
It's the first time. I've been making a comic for 5 years now. And in that entire time, I never actually imagined that, I could do something like build an audience and make a living off this in the future. It was always, it's something that I wanted to do. But now you see people, coming back and building their audiences with each new campaign. All of a sudden there's hope again. And with that hope comes a lot of creative energy, and, people can justify putting that time back into comics that has sort of been lacking of late. Putting that effort into it that you were describing.
I agree. I think that, some of the industry kind of got stuck in that bubble back in the 90s. And now that everybody's kind of focusing on story, we still want to have some really flashy art to go with that stuff. And I still want to draw flashy art. I still want to draw 90s comic art, but I want to make it kind of a little, 2020, my thing. Yeah, please go back. I'm going to give away a bunch of stuff. Let me grab some stuff. So Drop Bear, Drop there.
You got to
Let's
hold
do
it up because he wants to make it as he wants to screen grab it. Oh, look at that.
That's
Amazing.
crazy. You just did that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
hello, Jason. This is Smiling Bandito. I snuck in while nobody was looking.
Hi, Smiling Bandito. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Did they get that screen grab? I'm great. Let me go ahead and grab this sculpture that we're going to give a few away of tonight. So,
Yeah,
hold on.
this is incredible.
Jason is the king of giving stuff away. He has just been showering his fans with stuff. These sculptures are just amazing. These Loki sculptures, oh my goodness.
Okay, gentlemen, this is the head of Loki. And I had to make reference because his face is actually pretty complicated. It casts some really
Can imagine.
interesting shadows, right?
Yep.
So to get those shadows right, I kind of had to sculpt it.
No, I mean, I completely know exactly what you're talking about. You sculpt it there, and then you can reference it. You can put lights wherever you want. You can get it from any angle.
Exactly. And it works great.
You have
It
several
actually-
of these. And did you make a mold of that? And I'm wondering how, or did you sculpt the several that you have?
So this is the original. I'll make a mold of it, and we will make castings.
Okay.
So do you know what a casting is?
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's like, I've watched plenty of videos of people sculpting stuff. A lot of people seem to have different.
Like this is a casting of a skull.
I used to work in an iron foundry, and we did
There.
castings. There you go.
You know exactly. Okay,
I
good.
do know exactly what you're talking about.
Perfect.
Quite the
Yes.
process to go through.
Hex Allen is outing you. He says you're actually Thor.
I wish, man. I
You're
wish.
both Ragnarok Thor.
And you still got a bit of red in your beard too, so maybe.
You know what's kind of funny? If Thor were alive in my book, he would be a red-haired drunkard that essentially had an old beat-up car being pulled by goats. That's
Sounds about right.
That's
I like the take.
and he wouldn't know that he was Thor, obviously. Because somebody else would have the hammer. He would just be a dumbass.
It's all about the hammer.
But yeah, it literally is about the hammer.
Was in those sequentials? Was that the hammer bouncing from Asgard to
Yes.
to Earth?
Yes, that is
Well, there
correct.
you go. That's some good storytelling right there. I no context,
Right.
because I can see what would like bounce around, the cosmos, and then hit a planet and smash it, and keep going. Well, it has to be the hammer.
That's how
Right.
Mo Biggs got to our planet.
Is that how he got here?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
At least
dude.
that's what he
awesome.
told me before he ran away.
That's so awesome.
Maybe
That's
that was
so
him
awesome.
running away. That's how fast he had to go.
That could have been it. So I want to give away 2 of these sculptures tonight, guys. So anybody who backs over $100 essential perk will get a Loki head with that backing. So the only thing that I believe is over that is the art edition or the Dragar edition or the cover.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So there's this art edition here, and
Yep.
you get the Benetes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Signed edition, the Crager line art edition signed, and a sketch. And can you hold it up again?
And
That.
one of these. So I will give away 2 of these
Oh, wow.
to people who are purchasing $100 and above.
Said it right there. We've never had an offer like this on the show before. Jump on that.
And then I don't even know what else I have around here. Let me see what else
It's a fire sale over at Jason's house.
why just buy art, or why just buy 2 books when you can buy some art? That's what it comes down to. How about,
Feel it.
does anybody want an alien?
They probably do. Yes, one that looks like that. Oh, look
Have
at
we
that
had any backers
translucent.
during this stream?
So I think I think we've had one. Can people? Can let me?
I upgraded from one book to two, and
Ooh.
two other. Big. I hate upgrading. It means it costs you $1.50. But anyway,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound like that when you said that. By the way, that
No.
wasn't what I.
No, I'm just ashamed to say I upgraded instead of buying correctly in the first place. But you have had two backers, if my numbers are correct, and I have no idea what they got because that's not my business.
Well, I'll look right now. I actually can look. It looks like we have more than that. Hold on.
All right, so you've picked up two new backers. I didn't see whether or not they were $100 backers though.
Oh, yeah. It's most of them are in the lower end of the pool, but that's okay.
Come on, guys.
No, it's okay, guys. Like anything is helpful. Like I'm not trying to break everybody here. Like
I do have a question about your design, if we're okay for that.
Sure, go ahead and ask me anything.
All right, so that 8 pointed, if those are points, that 8 pointed logo over the word hammer. I've seen Native American things like that with 4 or 8 crossing sticks like that. Is this something original, or did you grab it from somewhere? What is that?
That's a Viking calendar. Is what that is. The thing that's in the hammer.
Yeah.
Logo. Yeah, it's a Viking seal called a Viking calendar.
Interesting.
Look it up now.
They're like so that I mean obviously the is that what am I trying to say here?
What
Like we've got Thor's Day.
Thor's Day.
Friday is Frigga's Day.
Wednesday
is Day. Yeah. Correct. You guys got it right. We have most of our days of the week are named after Nordic gods. Some of our resurrection stories kind of and things like that are very similar to Christianity, and they would have gone around and happened around the same time also. So we have a lot of people who have done transactions, none of them at the $100 range. That's okay though. So we'll just keep chugging away and see what happens. And as long as you guys want to chill, maybe some people can get some art or some Loki heads tonight. So keep asking questions. What do you want?
What about shipping internationally? Would you ship that head internationally?
Yeah. I'm already sending some stuff internationally. Yes.
Oh, damn.
Someone's about to back at the $100.
Can you show that thing again?
Show you the Loki head?
Yeah.
Loki head. Bring me the head of Loki. It's going to come in 4 pieces. You'll be able to, the marbles are going to be casted, so you'll be able to paint this. The head comes off, and it sits in the base, so it should sit flush. I'll have all the horns that slide in with square keys, and I'm going to clean it up real nice and sign it, and it'll be a lot cleaner than what it looks like now. So I know it looks clean over this silly
over YouTube
camera. Yeah, this terrible YouTube camera, but it'll be much cleaner when it gets to you. I am somewhat of a perfectionist. I have to be, or else stuff wouldn't look so nice every once in a while. It would just be crap. The one thing I can boost is that my book is going to be pretty. So, it may not make sense, but it'll be pretty.
It's the book itself too is a 48-page issue as well. So it's a double the size of a normal comic as well.
Correct. there is extra content in it beyond those 2 stories I told you about. There'll be a 4-page story in it that has art attached to that, plus several contributors that have done pinups and stuff like that. And of course, there'll be a thank you page for all the people who have backed. And I was thinking of doing a sketch page, but I might as well just sketch something on like a comic book backboard and just throw it in there, for fun. I literally just want to make everybody have a good experience with this, so that when I do have a second campaign, they'll want to come back.
Yeah, I'm feeling
Way
it.
to
I'm
do it.
feeling it.
Yeah.
And Mo is pointing out that it's a love fest in the chat as well tonight.
Ooh, guys,
Says it hasn't heard such mutual admiration society since the first time I looked in a mirror. Well, I don't know about
yeah.
That sounds to be accurate.
that. We're not going to play that video again.
Are we going to be talking all? Are we going to get our best Barry White voices out?
Hey, Michael. Let's go take a deep dive.
Not a deep dive. Do it.
Oh, I do want to, but I have to also be frugal at this time. But that sculpt just looks so cool.
It's a nice little sculpt. It's it is fun. So
I'm not supposed to be spending money though. That's the problem.
I have actually more stuff that I'll be adding once the campaign is up in a little bit. Like I'll be adding those 30 days to it, and when I do, I'm gonna make some more tiers. Probably have some different sculpts that people can get a hold of, and I could even show you a little bit of one. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Hey Mel, go to my channel and watch my new video. It's like 3.5 minutes long. Okay, just Mel.
So I'm gonna have a Star of Asgard sculpt. So you'll be able to have Star, and she's gonna have clothes. There'll be more clothes on her, obviously. And it comes on a base, and
I was once on a plane and I was looking at some drawing reference, and they were all nude.
right.
And I had the laptop on, and I'm, just like moving some things around, and with all these nude figures, in different gestures and everything.
Right.
And the woman next to me shot me a look like, "Oh my god, what are you looking at?" I was like,
Shameful.
Shameful, dirty person.
Productive during this flight, but no, I did close it down in shame and just went back to watching Michael Bay movies like a
good boy.
Yep.
That's so funny.
What a convenient excuse, Michael.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You've reminded me. I actually did a T-shirt back in the day called Skyfather Rising.
Oh.
And it's I'm gonna just stop sharing that. It was of it's all made up of lightning going through clouds, and I made a figure of Thor rising up as a Skyfather there.
That's super dope.
Yeah, I always wanted to do more like this, but just I don't know, didn't.
Yeah, that's super dope, man. I totally dig that. That's awesome. That's cool
You
as
just
hell.
reminded me that when I saw your name was the Old Father.
The Old Father. That's right.
It's
Well, you have.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
To be
You
a
have-
few critical. It's called Hammer, is because Chris Helmsworth and the way he says hammer,
Hammer.
come to me, hammer.
Are you mocking me?
No, this is my ship. What's wrong with your voice? This is my voice.
Voice.
That stuff's so funny. I love that shit. It's so silly.
All right,
So good.
I think I don't know if we've got any more backers. You did get you a couple though, up to 76. So that's at least something. And we've
That's
got
good,
you're out there a little bit more. Like I said, man, just get all you have to do is just kind of get yourself out there as much as you can. I know it's not easy all the time, especially if you're the artist and you obviously look like you're pretty busy doing a lot of stuff. But
Yes.
this is definitely a book that needs to get more eyeballs on it. If ever I've seen.
I agree. If you guys can ever, just tweet stuff out when you can, and we have 30 more days on this, and I would like to, as I said, be able to make enough to get that Glenn Fabry cover to everybody. That would be, if I did that, I would be genuinely excited at that
Remind
point.
me how much that is again.
It's 15, so I need to make $10,000, $9,000 in the next 34 days.
No, that's possible.
It's definitely possible. You'll be surprised, how these things work. So I think you're going to see a big uptick over the next 4 days, and then even after the next 4 days, there'll still be some lingering. The Indiegogo algorithm will give you some love. It's then going to be another hard slog for the middle of the second one, and that's when you've really got to be pushing it as much as you can, and you don't feel. There's so many people out there doing promo shows now, or even just hang out with people on streams. It all helps just to get your face out there, and then as the wind up to the end of the second month, it definitely seems possible, especially with a quality product like this. I mean, we've been looking at it. It's amazing. So,
well, are you going to be? That's Friday night, correct? That 4 days from now. Yes, Friday night. Are you going to be streaming with anybody on Friday night? Are you scheduled?
I don't believe I'm scheduled yet. I was supposed to schedule with Fraga, but I think he's going to be down, man. I don't think he's going to be up to do it. So, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, celebrating that end of the first.
Get on Comic Skates Present. I sent Malin something. He's busy pumping his Graveyard Shift 3, man. He doesn't want to talk to me. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Well, that end of the first 30 days right before you hit extend is, sometimes a good attractor.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's it like I said, it's 90% promotion. This is don't get discouraged because I do see that this could easily it could easily be a 15K plus campaign. It just needs the eyeballs.
I definitely would be the most surprised of anybody if I was able to do that. So I have talked to Charlie. She hasn't gotten back to me. She asked me when I was free this week. I told her Tuesday, which would be tomorrow for me, but Wednesday for her. I haven't heard back from her.
It can be tough with Charlie. Like I know the people in the UK, it's such a different time zone. Everyone over there in Europe, it's hard to organize all that stuff. But yeah, definitely persist. Anyway, it has been a real pleasure chatting with you. This has been a great stream. Thank you so much for the drop bear. Take that.
Drop bear goodness. This should be like the opening of your stream from now on. Drop bear, right there.
Hang on, let me bring you up full screen.
Sorry, we'll bring it back. Drop bear. Let me center it. Hold on. Let me pull it back a bit. Center it up. Hold on.
Perfect. All right. Amazing. Well, Jason.
Drop bear it is. Thank you for everything, gentlemen. Michael, thank you. Poland, Smiling Bandito, and Blue Samurai Zero.
It has
thank
been
you
a
all. And thank you, the chat, and everybody who backed. I don't think I got that $100 backer. So that's okay. Stuff happens, but we will be doing some more stuff again, and we'll give away some stuff. Today's been a good day, regardless. And it's been trickling in all day long since I funded this morning.
Have no fear, Jason. Sometimes it is a battle of inches, and we just keep plugging away.
That's what she said.
Yeah. We just keep plugging away at it. So
but that's what he said.
Right. No, I agree.
Thanks so much for the chat. Hey, Art showed up. Hey, party people, we're about to close up. Art. Everybody,
Art to Bear. I love Art to Bear. How are you, sir? I'm sorry we're closing up.
all right, guys. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Have a good
Hail and
Hail.
night.
Oh
Hail.
God,
Finally, I can
computer's
get this
frozen.
Loki.
Now I can't even close the stream out because my computer just froze.
You're not
That
going
is the
anywhere.
stream that never
Hail the
ends.
chat.
To Bear.
Hail Comics Game.
Hail.
Talk amongst yourselves. One sec.
We're sabotaging
Nice.
this.
It's okay.
He's getting a shotgun for his computer. It's the easiest.
Yeah.
Blue, I have to say, Jason has said your name in the coolest way I think I've ever heard it been said.
Who? Which